Good morning, Facebook friends. Helen Archontou here, CEO of the YWCA of Northern New Jersey. So happy to have some time with you today on this Tuesday. Well, we are finishing out National Hispanic Heritage Month, but we don't find these months to be the only time to celebrate and to honor the conversations that are important to us. It's important for us at the YWCA of Northern New Jersey to showcase wonderful Latino women throughout the year. And this is actually an important time to be having this conversation today, and we'll talk about why. So I'm so grateful today to be joined by Dr. Patricia Campos-Medina. Dr. Medina is a Hispanic female leader, and she is connected to us as through her wonderful work as a labor policy expert. This week is coming in the beginning of this week, and the timing couldn't be better because it's Latina Equal Pay Day. And
Yes.
talk about what that is during our conversation today as well. But this is the day, and there's 4 of them throughout the year, and today, this one is observed on October 29th. So this is partly why we wanted to have this conversation today, to bring attention and to get all of you engaged in how you can help support Latina Equal Pay by being part of a social media storm, which happens on the 29th of October at 2 p.m. By searching and using the hashtag Latina Equal Pay in all of your posts, you can be part of supporting. And for more information about Latina Equal Pay Day, we're going to put right into our comments here a link of latinaequalpayday.org, where you can get all kinds of posts that you can copy and paste and put in and be part of the conversation. And for those of you that don't know, more than 50 years after the passage of the Equal Pay Act in 1963, Latinas still typically earn only 55 cents for every dollar earned by a white non-Hispanic man, and work nearly 23 months to earn what white men earn in 12 months. Given that, and this is the last Equal Pay Day in observance this year, we encourage everyone to get involved and stand up for equality. This disparity not only hurts Latinas, but it also hurts the families and the communities that they support. So it's something for all of us to get involved with.
Exactly.
So before we launch into this wonderful discussion today, I want to introduce you, tell you a little bit about my guest today. Dr. Medina is a nationally recognized labor and political leader with more than 20 years experience in grassroots and labor organizing, electoral campaigns, with a senior government relation and senior organizational management record. Currently, Patricia is the co-director of the Union Leadership Institute at Cornell University, where she develops curriculum and delivers training in 4 core areas of academic programming: workers' rights and workforce development, leadership development and organizational change, globalization and trade, and immigration rights policy. She is a core faculty member at the National Labor Leadership Initiative, founded by the National AFL-CIO and Cornell University to advance the principles of transformative leadership within the United States for labor and workers' rights movements. She also focuses on supporting and training Latina women to run for public office, both locally and nationally. She is the president of Latinas United for Political Empowerment in New Jersey and a founding board member of POTER PAC, 2 political action committees advancing Latina women's representation in government and politics. She is also a member of the advisory committee for Elección Latina, Ready to Run, a joint program of Lupe and the Center for American Women in Politics at the Eagleton Institute, Rutgers University. She's a board member of the Latino Action Network and an executive board member of the Hunterdon County Democratic Organization and president of Lupe Action, a political organization that's geared towards getting Latina women elected and appointed to office. And I actually happened to see you testify at the hearings that Senator Weinberg hosted gee, I want to say that was almost a year ago now that
yeah,
we
almost. Yes, almost a year ago. Yes, last fall.
and, sharing about sexual harassment that she has observed and experienced in the political field. And, and I was so grateful to, hear you and have you share everything there as well. And with all you do, thank you so much for making the time to be with us today, Dr. Medina.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for your great introduction. I feel like many of us do so much stuff because we're able to multitask and be driven by our passion. Like all that I do, I'm lucky that I am living and working on what I love to do, which is to advocate for workers and for women, and just to make sure that we all have a voice in the politics that decide economic policy will ultimately decide our experiences in our communities. So thank you for inviting me to have this discussion.
Oh, of course. So tell us a little bit about. I know we have a lot to talk about, and we're got half an hour to fit it all in. But with Latina Equal Pay Day, I know it's a movement we want to get everyone involved and tweeting and reading and learning about it.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about Latina Equal Pay Day?
So today, yes, today is the National Action Day to create awareness about the wage disparity that Latinas face. All women, women, white, African American, Latino, Asian American, we have a wage disparity. We do not earn the same as men, and we do not have the same opportunities at the workplace. On our lifetime, because of the double responsibility that we have to take care of our families, or if we choose to have a family take time from work during our early years of our children, through our lifetime we earn less than a man does, even if we're in the same professions. So, but with Latinas, the difference is amazing. It's 52 cents for each dollar a white male earns. And we do this national celebration to bring awareness to that, so that everybody starts asking the question, why does that happen? Mm-hmm. We have entered a place in our economy where women are working as much as men or even more, and yet those wages haven't changed. One of the reasons that we know that it haven't changed is because, I come from the labor movement. I believe that the best tool to get equal pay for women is a union contract, because in a union contract, it's spelled out how much your profession pays for whatever the level of skills you have. So first thing is we need to keep pushing for more for the rights of workers, independently of whether you're a doctor in a hospital, or a nurse, or you are in an office, or you're even a professor at universities. You can have a union. So first let's fight for the right to have a union and have clarity on the wage scale. The other things that we've been fighting for is that to be transparent in what the salary levels are for positions in the public sector. And I think Governor Murphy actually issued that mandate last year, that we have to let everybody know what everybody else is making, so that empowers us as women to say, well, I have the same title and doing the same work, but I am not making the same money. So information empowers women. In the private sector, we have a long way to go on that. But I think that what I tell young women when I speak to them is, do not ever undervalue your skills, because as women, we often want to know what we're doing before we say we are experts or something. And men, they just know they're going to learn it on the way there. So I always tell women, we are multi-talented, and if you want to learn a job, put your side on it and just do the work. And we always do the work, but sometimes we hesitate and say, oh, I don't know how to do that. I always say, I want to learn it, and I can learn it. And then I want to get the same pay that my colleagues have. And ask what that is. We have been shy, and we've been conditioned not to ask what the salary level is. we have to stop that. We have to say how much that they get paid, and that's what I'm gonna get paid.
Well, that's an important coaching for women, and I know we try to reinforce that as well in our work, and can't be said enough. So I'm glad that you reminded us of that. So very exciting for you. You just launched a video podcast yourself called Activista Rise Up.
Yes.
And I know it's about providing advocates across the nation to have a platform so that they can discuss issues that are impacting working families. So can you tell us a little bit about it? I know I've happened to, watch a few, and it's exciting. It's exciting to launch. I know we did it a few, months ago back in March, and
yeah, thank you. And I know you contacted me because you saw one of my shows, so thank you for watching. One of the things that we have learned during this period of isolation, being home, is that technology allows us to have a platform that we didn't imagine we could build before. And during this time that people feel, if you're a minority, you're a woman of color, a man of color, or if you're a working class person, you feel you feel like the world is, it's not the world, the society that we used to have. It feels very oppressive. It feels like we're out of control. People are losing their jobs. Their family members are getting sick. And I felt like we needed to figure out how to give information to people about what's happening and what are leaders doing to tackle some of these challenges. I am a progressive activist. I am an immigrant woman, so I base my politics on the experience of coming here as a young woman. I was never undocumented, but my parents were, and I saw them how they struggled to send 4 of us to college with very low wages, and then just in the belief that they could give us a better life. And I feel like that belief, that hope, that if you work hard and if you follow the law, that you will be successful, it has deteriorated in some parts of our communities, because people are working hard, but they're not getting out of the economic distress that they're living under. People are working. People are working for minimum wage. Women are working on 2-3 jobs and they're barely making it. Black males feel their bodies are in danger when they leave their homes. So this sort of lack of hope. And I felt like at the same time, there's so many activists doing great things to bring hope and bring power to those communities. So during this period of the uprising of Black Lives Matter and the uprising around who is suffering the impact of COVID-19, I felt like we needed to elevate the voices of those activists. And that's how I said, well, rather than me just talking to one-on-one with people, let me just provide a platform to have those conversations, to talk to young people or anybody who's home saying, what can I do about this, to learn about what leaders are doing and get inspired about why people do what they do, and perhaps engage them in becoming advocates for the issues that they're facing. So that was the impetus, and I have gotten a very good feedback because we focus on the issue, but we also focus on why that activist or that leader cares about that issue. Because most of us who are activists or believe in things don't do it because we get paid to do it. Don't do it because we have the time. We do it because it matters and is central to who we are. So I try to get to that. Why do you do this work and what are you hoping to accomplish?
I agree. And I think that's one of my favorite parts about these conversations, as well, is that you really, understand what drives, individuals in terms of their work. And it re-inspires me. And I believe it inspires our viewers. So I think it's wonderful that you've embarked,
I recently I was able to facilitate a conversation with Dolores Huerta and 2 young activists. The New York Library had a intergenerational conversation, which also came through because they saw one of my shows, which it says something about people wanting to get inspired by others. Yeah. But Dolores Huerta shared that, if you are an organizer, which I consider for myself to be, or a community activist, you have to take every opportunity as an opportunity to give power to that person to understand their own power. And I think that that's like the uniqueness of being an activist, an organizer, that you are trying to figure out how to connect with people so that they can use that spark to engage in something. It doesn't have to be the same thing that I care about, but if they care about an issue like Latinas Equal Pay Day or immigrant rights or the rights of women not to be sexually harassed when they're doing a job in politics, just get that spark and say, how can I engage in my community so I could create change around that? So that's what drives me. If you can change one person or inspire one person, I think we can change the dynamics of where we are.
I couldn't agree more. More. Well said. So tell us a little bit about your Relief for All campaign that you're working on. And I know you're spearheading it right now. How can we support it and, learn more about it?
Yes. So I am part of a coalition in New Jersey that since March, when we went into a lockdown, we immediately understood that immigrant women and immigrant families will be the most impacted by the lockdown. They will be impacted in two ways. I am a Latina woman who was a professional who basically was able to rearrange my life so that I could work from home and my kids could have a computer and I could supervise them at home. But most immigrant working women don't have that luxury. They have to go to work. Only about 30% of the jobs in our economy can be done from home. So that means that every other worker has to figure out how to get to work and who's going to take care of their kids. And they also were the frontline workers, the warehouse workers, the restaurant workers, the transportation workers. So those were our members of our community. And because they're undocumented, because even though they pay taxes, that's a big myth, that because if you work, you have to have a tax ID number to be able to pay payroll. So most of these workers are paying payroll taxes, but they do not qualify for any sort of relief from the state or from the federal government. So since the beginning of March, the coalition of immigrant rights groups, spearheaded by Make the Road New Jersey, by the New Jersey Coalition for Immigrant Rights, by the Latino Action Network, and by LUPE, an organization that I am a member of and lead, Latinas United for Political Empowerment, we made a demand of Governor Murphy and the legislature to enact a program to provide relief for undocumented workers in New Jersey. And unfortunately, we have been able to raise awareness, and we were very disappointed that Governor Murphy didn't include our proposal for relief on his budget. But we have now engaged Senator Ruiz and Assemblywoman Quijano, and they have drafted a proposal to create a fund by the New Jersey legislature to provide relief for undocumented workers who pay taxes, similar to what the federal relief is. Remember, the federal relief that Donald Trump signed did not apply to immigrant workers. So not just even New Jersey, anywhere. So we are working on that. And right now we are engaging elected officials across New Jersey, asking them to become co-signers of that bill. We're actually going to have a public meeting with Assemblyman Johnson in Bergen County coming up. I will send you the information so you can share it with your audience.
Yeah.
So that for him to understand a little bit more what it means for immigrant families not to have relief. It means that the Latino children are at risk. The Latino children are suffering at a higher rate the impact of COVID-19. They're getting sick, and they're gonna have long-term effects because their parents are working and their parents are getting infected, so their parents cannot protect them because they have to work. 40% of the people impacted by unemployment by COVID-19 in New Jersey are Latinos, and we can't ignore that reality anymore. So I call everybody, call your legislator. It doesn't matter where you live. please call and support the Relief for All legislation so that Latino families and Latino children can have some sort of protection during this crisis. They work to make us safe. We ought to do something to protect them as well.
For sure. All right, viewers, that's 2 action items. Make sure you're involved in the Twitter storm and the social media storm at 2 p.m. and call your legislators about this important bill that we're trying to push forward. So with that, obviously, we're 1 week away, right, from Election Day.
Yes.
So Election Day is now, as I keep saying, but, traditional Election Day, I guess, a week away, but Election Day is now. How are you working with the community to engage Hispanic voters and to get out to vote? And, how can we help with that?
Yes. So, in New Jersey, the election day, the last day is November 3rd. But in New Jersey, it's been election day for a long time. If you have your vote by mail ballot, please fill it out and walk it over to a drop box so that we can have your vote counted before November 3rd. If you need any assistance in how to fill out the vote by mail, there are different groups that have tutorials in their website. You can go to the League of Women Voters. You can go to Action Together in New Jersey. They have very good tutorials how to do it. We share them on our social media. You can follow us at Lupe PAC, Lupe PAC on Facebook and on Twitter, and Lupe Action New Jersey, also on Facebook, on Twitter, and we have tutorials on how to fill out your vote by mail. How can you get other people to join? Now, this is an election where I believe our bodies are on the line. Our future and our children's education is on the line. We just saw yesterday the United States Senate confirm a Supreme Court justice, which basically tilts the Supreme Court towards very conservative beliefs, which impact directly the ability of women to make their own choices about their health and about their economic well-being, and about the future of immigration reform and about the future of healthcare. Obamacare, who gave 43 million Americans access to affordable healthcare, is on the line. So our bodies are on the line on November 3rd. And every working woman, every working person who is worried about whether they can have access to healthcare has to come out and vote next week, before next week, so that we can send a message to the Republican Party and to the Democratic Party that we want policies that protect working people. We are living on the biggest period of income inequality, where billionaires during the last 7 months of this pandemic made billions of dollars just on the crisis. And at the same time, working people, 30% of our working people are unemployed, and they are living day to day with worry about their homes and their mortgages, and not having an income to provide for food. So it is the worst moment, and we need to demand leadership that addresses the pandemic as based on science, not on political arguments, and provides immediate relief to the unemployed and creates a jobs program, because at the end of the day, we're going to have to figure out how to create jobs. But if we do not stop the pandemic or the spread of the pandemic, it's very difficult to make people feel safe on the job. So I say vote. Yeah. How are we doing it? We are Lupe Action and Lupe PAC. We have a campaign called Vote Latinas Vote New Jersey. You can go to our website and follow us, and we have several partners with which we are partnered up to make phone calls to states that we need to win, like Pennsylvania, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Virginia. We need to win those states in order to be able to win and turn around this country. New Jersey is blue. New Jersey will be okay, but we need your voice to help us make calls to those states. So follow us on Facebook, and we will tell you how to sign up to make calls to Latino voters, bilingual voters all over in those states, so that you can help us turn it around.
Well, so much great information, and
Yeah.
we've been flashing all of the information, how to get connected to Lupe PAC and to Latina Equal Pay and to, all the various sites that we're talking about, so our viewers can connect.
Yeah. So we are also, and on Latina Equal Pay Day, we are also a part of a coalition of Lean In Women of Color, which is a program founded, Lean In is a program founded by Sheryl Sandberg, to encourage women to more proactively fight against the pay gap as women. But she has a program called Lean In Women of Color, and we are having a program on this Thursday at 6 p.m. on Equal Pay for Latinas, and I will broadcast it through Lupe PAC and Lupe Action, so you can get some information there about the national movement to end the pay gap for Latinas.
Wonderful. So we'll connect that link here as well for Lean In Women of Color. And viewers, you have a lot of great information here, and we're so grateful that you could join us and give us such a wonderful perspective today. Any last words to engage our voters and engage our viewers? We've got voting on the brain. Engage our viewers on how to support Latina women and essential workers across New Jersey.
There's so much that we can do together. We gotta vote, and we gotta vote in big numbers next week. But we also in New Jersey, New York and New Jersey were the most impacted by COVID-19. And we have a lot of work to do to protect all workers in New Jersey from the impact of this pandemic. So we are also asking the legislature to expand coverage for sick days for essential workers. After a long fight, we were able to get 5 paid sick days for workers. But if you get hit by COVID-19, you need 14 days of isolation. Who pays for that? Yeah. So we're asking the legislature to increase paid sick days to 14. And Assemblywoman Valerie Huddle from Bergen County is the sponsor of that bill. So if you think that workers should have access to more paid sick leave, please also support that effort. And we also are asking people to demand that the New Jersey legislature and Governor Murphy enacts better safety protections for workers impacted by COVID-19. Because of Donald Trump, OSHA, the Office of Safety and Health, has basically been absent from persecuting or addressing some of the safety problems that we have in our warehouses, Amazon warehouses, Target warehouses. Those are huge facilities that really have no one enforcing the 6 feet social distance or wearing a mask or all that stuff. And people are getting sick. So we have asked Governor Murphy to enact protections for those workers and for the legislature to enforce them through more assistance for the Labor Department in New Jersey to be able to do more. So if you believe that essential workers, not just our healthcare workers who also need protections, but our essential workers who are in our warehousing units, who are in our factories, who are making the food, who are putting the food up on our groceries, the drivers in our buses, all those people need enforceable protection. So also we need to make sure that the legislature does that in the absence of OSHA doing anything. That might change next week, but private sector workers in New Jersey do not have protections from federal OSHA, and we need to change that. We need to make New Jersey protect private sector workers here. So there's a lot we can do together, and I thank you for you offering this platform here. If you want to engage with us on the work to protect frontline workers in New Jersey, we also have a coalition in New Jersey, which is Worker Justice Coalition, and you can find that as well through our website at Lupe and Lupe PAC.
Great, and we'll link that one as well. Folks watching, if there's someone in your life that you wish had seen this broadcast but wasn't watching with you today, please share it. Please also be sure to connect to all of the links that we've included here so that you can support our Latina community and our Latina women. With that, remember at 2 p.m., the social media storm and hashtag of Latina Equal Pay. And again, you can go to latinaequalpay.org for more information. I also want to just bring to your attention that we've got 3 more great YWTV shows this week. Tomorrow, we're doing our tribute to Ruth Bader Ginsburg with Rachel Weiner-Apter, Director of the New Jersey Division on Civil Rights, who clerked for her, and she'll be sharing her experience with our former Supreme Justice that we miss for sure. And also on Thursday, we're continuing our Share the Mic Now project, where we're amplifying the voices of Black women in our community. And Latifah Fleming, who is a wellness guru in our community, will be joining us. And on Friday, we have Alejandra Castillo, who is our YWCA USA CEO, will be joining us also to bring some more attention to, like Dr. Campos-Medina, some of these wonderful Latina women. We have leaders in our community, and she'll be sharing more about the state of Latina women across the country, and also some of the work that our YWCAs are doing across the country. So please mark your calendars or watch them later, however it is. Also, we encourage everyone to sign up for the 21-day Social Justice and Racial Equity Challenge. We'll have the link here for you to be part of that. We want everyone to learn more about race, power, and privilege, and ways that you can become a social justice activist and supporting our Black communities and our people of color. And remember, Election Day is now. We just had a wonderful conversation that hopefully inspired you to vote if you have not done it yet. Please make sure every voice counts, every vote counts, and make sure that you're putting people in office that are representing your views and values, not only for yourself, but for the community around you. Vote.org has lots of other great information in addition to some of the great links that we heard about today. So everyone have a great day. Be well. Dr. Medina Campos, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be hooked in and watching your podcast as well. Be well. We'll see you soon.
Activista